Oh yeah, it's time for another shout out, and this one's going to I'm Bored Toys, an awesome new member of the community that you can find with Claire and Tech on Mockumentary, solo streaming, or with Brenda on other Toy Tuesdays. And these are high energy streams, so be prepared to hit the red.
This was not a paid advertisement for the Cali Brikx. We just really dig Kevin's style.
But then I edit out and anyways and so's all the time. Just constant.
I used to do the phrase that I always say.
Count us down.
All right, ready? In 5, 4, 3.
Welcome back, everybody, to Cali Brikx, our second episode on our new YouTube channel, Cali Brikx. I am here today with SHYtimeisMytime, Ninja, and our special guest, Chris from Brikx.
Howdy.
Hey, hopefully everybody's doing great. But first things off, let me remind everybody that you can also listen to all of our episodes on any platform where you can hear any podcast, like Spotify, Apple, all of the different platforms. And if you want to go and listening on your iPhone is way easier and drains way less battery doing that way. And then all of our previous episodes are actually linked down below on this channel, and it'll link back to, all of our original episodes on our previous channels. But it's all there in a playlist. So have a listen if you haven't already. But anyway, let's get into it today. So
I just want to say that was the best intro we've had so far.
Good.
I just want to put that out there.
Nice and organized. It's because it's the morning here, and
I know, right?
Actually, I'm in work mode, and so even though I haven't worked in a while, I'm like, yes, I can do this anyway. Okay,
I'm completely opposite right now. I'm like,
yeah, this is the earliest we've ever filmed, and Ninja's still sleeping.
You haven't had your 9 coffees yet this morning.
I'm drinking one right now.
Oh man, yeah, same, exactly. All right, so Lego news. We over here in my house failed miserably to get the last coin. Failed.
Dude, I
tried to tell you. I tried to tell him.
I don't know what happened. Barbara woke me up randomly at 6 o'clock, and I was like, "Oh, it's 6." And then went.
Was it 6 o'clock for you guys? So it was 9 a.m. in the morning when they launched it.
So it launched at 6 o'clock in the morning for us, and we were sound asleep. And Sans is so upset because he thinks that no one would be as into it if it wasn't for him and his hype and his total mania. And so we've all kind of just lit our points on fire because of him, and then he missed it. He's hoping that someone will just take pity on him.
Just give him the coin.
To be fair to Sans, I was not interested in those coins at all until I saw him on
exactly. He's the reason why I got all 4 of them, but now 5.
And then I was tempted, and by that point, I think it was the first one they were talking about. Which was it? The pirate one that was first?
Castle. I think.
Castle. Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, you convinced me, Sans. I'm going to go get it." And then it was sold out here, so I was like, "Good," because now I won't bother getting any of them because obviously we can't get the first one. I didn't bother, but
that would have been the same for me. If I couldn't get the first, I wouldn't have wanted any. And anyway, we ended up between the two of us, we have 6 of them. We have 2 of the first 2 each. I've already sold one, which reminds me I need to mail it today.
And you sold it. Okay,
I sold it. Yeah, I did it. I went way a couple $5 to $10 below what everybody else has it on sale because I actually want it out of my life. And
you should have taken a Brikx and minifigs.
Would they take it?
Yeah, they would. They'll probably.
You think they'd take I don't know. We're gonna go this weekend, so maybe I'll take it.
Yeah, they're not gonna give you market value, but they'll give you a little under. But if you want out of your hair right now, you don't have to pay for shipping or anything like that.
I sold one of the coins for 80. I don't want to sell it for any less than that.
Yeah, the new one was going for £100 here. Yeah, that gold one.
Yeah, and I did it on Facebook Marketplace, so it was a little bit. They take a little bit less than or quite a bit less.
Pay for shipping too, though, right? So if you would have just taken the Brikx and minifigs, since you're going to go there anyways, it's like you're paying no shipping and you're not giving away
it's a coin. The shipping's $3.95. You know what I mean?
It is.
Yeah, it's not that big of a deal. Exactly. Yeah, thank you so much, USPS.
Do you know how much Brikx and minifigs would give you for it? How much would they sell it for?
They'll sell at market value, so they'll buy it for 20% under.
So, but market value of what is?
It depends. Whatever comes up at the time that they look it up.
And I think it also depends on the Brikx and minifigs. If they feel like their market, their people, whoever goes there regularly, will buy that kind of thing. So
exactly.
I don't know.
You think they would sell it for $80?
I don't know. I think I'll go. I'm going this weekend.
I'm curious. I'm curious to see how much you buy that for. That'd be very interesting.
Part of me wants to take some empty boxes and be here. How much? for this Indiana Jones box or Vikings gold boxes.
You'd be surprised what they'll buy.
Yeah, I don't know. I will see. We'll see what they do.
I would love them to have something like that in the UK. They have nothing. Like literally, it's just Lego or like John Lewis or something. We have no like secondhand Lego stores here.
Oh, really?
So,
They're
What about
not,
online?
they're not everywhere here, and each of them are like completely different. I don't know. Part of me wants to open one up. I think it'd be so fun to just like
3 by you though. Don't you?
You know what?
the closest one is an hour away.
Oh,
So what is it, like a franchise then that you can like
it's a
buy if you
franchise.
wanted to?
It's a franchise, yeah, and so like they all have like reward systems, like point systems and things like that, but they're all independent of one another. So like if you like are signed up at one, you can't transfer the points over to like another location. And like I wonder, because I know that I haven't seen Emily just posted like they went to all the Brikx and minifigs in their area, like within like driving distance. And I wonder if those 3 are tied together or something like that. Do you know what I mean? I wonder if there's like groups of them, like maybe one person owns like a bunch of them or something like that. But I almost prefer buying Lego than I do building Lego.
Well, why don't you just not do Brikx and minifigs and just do your own thing?
I mean, that's essentially, you could do a Bricklink store. That's like one thing, or you could
open up your own secondhand shop. You don't have to open up a Brikx and minifigs. Bricks and minifigs, all that does is give you
the support from Lego
of anything. No, I don't think they get support from Lego, but the support from the other franchises by putting you on the website, putting you on Yelp. So marketing, if anything, which I think is pretty weak by them anyways.
Yeah,
so since they're all independent, then it's like, because I thought about that too. Like I was considering taking out a VA loan to be able to open up my own third party or like secondhand Lego shop, but like going under, I was kind of looking into Bricks and minifigs, but I'm like thinking, why not just open up my own?
Well, you have retail experience. I have high school retail experience, which is
if you opened it up, you know that it wouldn't be Lego anyway. It would be the army stuff that you get.
Yeah,
you would just open that as a store.
Some minifigs sell some of the military Lego as well.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
I said I've never. I can't wait to go back to LA to go and look at these stores because it sounds amazing.
let me know when you're here, dude. We'll go around.
Oh, definitely, that sounds awesome. But yeah, like here, even Bricklink stores in the UK are terrible because they're a lot more expensive than America ones. And you see, like when you go on Brikx, you'll see a minifigure like, say, a Luke Skywalker, and you're like, oh, £3, that's okay. You click on it, and then you go UK only, and it's like 23 quid. You're like,
wow, that's the markup.
It's mad. Yeah, it's massive in here. We don't have many parts either. Like, for instance, I wanted the Darth Vader with the arm printing that's in the I can't remember what the set's called, but anyway.
The Bespin Duel?
Yeah, but the Bespin Duel one. And he was 25 quid, and there's one in the entire UK that's selling it on Brikx.
Wow.
That's it.
That's ridiculous.
So,
is it just because you guys are on an island, or is it because there's not that many Lego fans? Like, is there multiple variables? Is it because of Brikx?
I think it's a bit of everything, but yeah, it used to be. So like even 6 months ago, it was fine without Brexit because Europe, there was no charge in. Now they're charging in as well, and people aren't wanting to ship to England because of the Brexit stuff. So it's just made it really, really hard to get anything at the moment. I'm hoping give it 6 months and everything's sorted, and it should get better. But
I hope so. I hope so for you guys. I mean, if not, I mean, like, what if you need like a US like person that's going to receive all your orders, and then like we'll group them together. I mean, if you want me to do that, I will do that for you.
I've actually got my best friend actually lives in LA, which is why I go out there quite a lot. But he did that for me with the Bespin Duel because I need that set. So he got me like, just get it. He's like, what is this? It doesn't look anything special. I was like, you're not into Lego. Just ship it over.
You don't understand.
What is it? What is this? No, that's like Tech has stuff sent to Sans, and Sans has stuff sent back and stuff, and so we still need to like send it back and forth. But yeah, I mean, it helps. It's nice having like a point of contact. There's definitely like a few things that like really weird, rare pieces that I'll like put in. Does it ship to the UK, or like does it ship to like this other state that I know somebody in, or does it ship to like, you know, and like because sometimes the shipping or like the price difference is so significant. Like I'm parting out or parting together BrickBank because it's like, I can't find it for less than $600. And
surprising. That still baffles me how expensive that set got.
It got so expensive, and like even last summer, it was like I think I saw it for like $350 a few times.
Nobody wanted that set when it came out.
Yeah,
it was the shortest lived on the shelf, wasn't it? It was the shortest one.
It's because of the police station. That's the reason why people.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I was looking at getting that one in December because I was slowly building up my retired modulars that I wanted to get, and that one was always about $250, and I was like, "Oh, it's fine. That one's not going up. I'll get the other ones before they go." And then January hit, and it went up to $450 like instantly.
It's crazy how expensive. Anyway, so like there are these printed, glass pieces in there, as you guys know, and someone in South Africa had like 1 million of them for $3 a piece, and that they did not ship anywhere I could get them to ship. And then the next one was someone in the US that had them for $14 a piece, and you need 4 of them. And so I mean, overall, I'm going to do a whole video on it, but like, because I don't mind talking about it here because it's like a different crowd usually, but it's going to cost me out of pocket just over like $100 to put this together. But that's also pulling parts out of my collection and Sans's collection, So, but I mean, like that was worth it. That's like when you do that. But then but even if I had just parted it out completely on Bricklink, it was $400.
So, I think it's a lot better than 6, regardless.
It is a lot better than 6, but I like gave up on the minifigs. I was like, goodbye. Like, I don't need that. But
they're not special.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's. So we went to the coin, then we went to Brickbank, then we went to Bricks and Minifigs, and then there's the Everyone is Awesome set that's out. That's exciting. That's wonderful.
Are you guys gonna comp that? I'm definitely getting it.
I just don't know how many I'm gonna get. That's my bigger issue.
That's the thing. Like I have
2. I know at least 2.
I know for sure I'm gonna get one for my best friend because he's a part of that community and like he would really appreciate this. But I just want to have one in a set as well, like just in a box and just one to like have built.
I want one to take the minifigs out of it.
Yeah,
just have like a monochrome collection right there,
like a frame or something.
I like all the little things that people are doing to kind of make it different. Like the Darth Vader one. Someone from the military, like community, did one with little tiny Sherman tanks. I'm thinking, that's really cool. Awesome. I think I might do that one.
I saw an Among Us one that was kind of funny. Someone had Among Us figures.
Yeah,
and I think they called it "Everyone is Sus" or something.
That's really good. That's really good. I like that. No, because like I have some like iconic things that I keep like in box, like the little parts, like the Biclick, the IKEA collab, like the little one that came with like the pieces in it. I'm keeping that like new in box, Biclick really? Or whatever.
That's. There's like nothing really in there.
I know there's nothing in there, but to me, it's just like they're 2 fascinating brands that came together to
that's true.
I actually have a similar one, Claire. When I bought my Levi hoodie, it comes with a Levi Dots pack, and I won't open that pack. So
same
because it's Levi and Dots. I've kept that.
That's same. Okay. Yeah, exactly. I have so many. I bought a lot of things from that collection, but yeah, same. I have like them all like lined up, and I don't think I'm gonna.
Yeah.
I might open one of them. I don't know, but they're all like, pristine. I like those like brand collaborations.
Did anyone get the Adidas? The shoes?
The new ones look fresh. I can't.
They look dope. I was like $150 or
they're a lot. Yeah, exactly. Kind of the ones that I wanted are still in stock. Like the yellow, I think would be cool. Especially because I only wear sneakers now, so like it's like okay. Yeah, it's like I can justify it, like no heels, nothing anymore really, unless like we go out to dinner or something. But I don't know, maybe I might. But yeah, so like I definitely want to have one like that. To me, it's like kind of historical moment almost. That everyone is awesome. Yeah.
Oh, for the IKEA one, I would say keep the little one closed because, like I said, there's nothing really in there.
Oh yeah, I'm keeping the tiny little one closed. That's why I got that one, and then I'm opening the actual boxes. But we only got like 2 sizes. Like I'm still looking for 2 other sizes, right? There's 4 sizes total, I think.
3.
I'm not sure.
The smallest one comes with the Lego inside, I think.
No, the smallest one doesn't have a box. It's just like pieces, I think.
Sure.
I have no idea. Whatever. Clearly, we don't know what we're talking about.
I'm not gonna open it. It's gonna stay in this box.
Okay, I'm gonna transition us into our topic now, guys. But well, speaking of like historical moments, I think a lot of us started our channels, to be as like a creative outlet, as a hobby. Especially like Chris, I know you started during COVID, and so did I. And like Ninja and Shy, you guys had already been kind of rolling content out beforehand. And Chris, okay. But Chris, the Brickinet channel obviously like did awesome and shot up and like was super successful. And
it's tanked now though.
No, come on. But it's, it's taken, it did that transition, right? I mean, like, correct me if I'm wrong, but it did that transition from like hobby to actual monetary gain. Like there was almost like a switch to like a business aspect of it, so decisions were made thinking about it in a different way maybe than you were before. It wasn't just like, I want to share my Legos or my leg.
Yeah. So originally, like, I have another YouTube channel, which I haven't touched in like 3 years, but I was doing tech stuff because I just like gadgets and all that kind of stuff, and they were terrible. They were so bad, and we decided that we were gonna. Yeah, they were terrible. I thought I was like Casey Neistat, but ginger, and it just didn't work. But basically in February, me and Steph took a long weekend to London just to have a break. And that's when we were looking at what we wanted to do for some wedding things. And we went into Lego store and I saw the minifigures and I was like, oh, how cool would it be to do minifigures as like favors for people at the wedding? Because we're both into Lego. And it started from there. The DC ones were on the shelf. I'd never bought a minifigure like CMF before. And I was like, oh, these look kind of cool. And before I knew it, I'd bought like 40 of them to try and get the whole set. And that was the first video I did was like, well, I've got all these. Let's review them on the channel. And that was pretty much. And the Brick in it name came out of the fact that I was terrible in front of a camera, but I really wanted to do it. So it's actually Brick in it, as in I was pooing myself
in it.
Nervous. That's it. Yeah. So that's why it was like Brick in it. It was the name of it.
Do you do you think that like, are you less nervous in front of the camera now after doing it for so long?
Yeah, I think so. Obviously there's always something about nerves, and you always have to be careful what you say as well sometimes, because obviously people can perceive things differently. They don't, so you have to be a bit more careful.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think everyone gets nervous. Yeah. And we live stream every Tuesday, and every Tuesday I try and not do it. Like I'll always try and make an excuse for myself because I always get scared of doing it.
But you guys are so good at it, especially the two of you together. It's so natural.
Yeah, I hate it. I hate it. I hate once I'm there, once I'm on, it's
right here, folks. But, Chris is terrified.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's like I don't know if you guys saw the stream a couple of weeks ago where I had a meltdown with R2D2.
Yes, I did.
But inside, I literally wanted to jump out this window right here. Like I just did not want to be.
It was so good. Like Steph was like peeing her pants, laughing. She could not get control of herself, and you were like just livid with yourself. It was like so hilarious. But like I'm expecting a highlights reel from that live stream. It was so good. Like that's the level and then I think you need to go on the other live streams where people were still making fun of you for it, and like, or just start off with like Richard, like calmly figuring out how to put it together, and then just stabbing you in the back later, and like not letting you know how to put it together.
Rich from Brikx, he was literally sending me Instagram videos of how his like one was working, and I was like, just go away. I know it's supposed to work like that, but it's not working. The worst was that I picked up R2D2 and it's like the leg in the middle just fell off, and I was like, well, I don't think that's supposed to happen.
No, I think it's like you could rebrand your channel into like struggles with Chris. Exactly.
Chris struggles. That's just literally.
Do you think it's because you're like building too fast, or like do you think it's because you're like just the nerves? Because I just started solo streaming. I've only done like 3 of them, and it is stressful because like maintaining the chat, like trying to build any kind of Technic piece. And like I started off with the new X-Wing, and I messed it up like 3 or 4 times on camera. And I've never messed up any Technic like that ever before.
I do think it's camera. Like for me anyway, I don't follow instructions. Like I just never do. I eyeball the instructions, go, yeah, that looks all right. I like skip like 6.
All right, that's definitely on you then. Okay,
and that's where Technic is, because obviously I didn't follow the Technic instructions, which is what RT was at the beginning.
Why follow those instructions?
But I built the entire of Mos Eisley on like a 7-hour stream or something on my own, pretty much, because Steph had enough and went down for tea and stuff. And I was fine. I didn't make any mistakes on that.
I'm really that's mostly brick built. So what I'm
Technic,
I'm curious about. Yeah. Okay, Chris. So when Sans first came for a visit, he went through and like saw all of the problems that I had done with all of my builds. He like found minifigure hands that were like upside down, and he just like and he was like parts that were missing, he just immediately. So I'm thinking, I sent him over to you, and we test Moss Eisley's
I think that Sans would literally walk into my attic and hit on the like he just fall on the floor, collapsed, spasming, because there'd be that many mistakes. It'd be like the end of Highlander where he starts spinning around. I know everything. It'd be like that with all of my mistakes.
The only one he got wrong, like, was I think Hagrid's hut. He like fixed it. By the way, these are sets that he doesn't even have to, or has like he has no interest in Harry Potter, and he like he got something wrong there, or like it was just a bad design on Lego's part, like the way that they had built it, and like that's the only one he got wrong. But I had put like hands of like just not just minifigures, but like big anyway. It was I had made some really inappropriate changes.
Speaking of things wrong, I don't want to put anyone on blast, but are your drawers still organized by color?
So, I actually did an apology video to Claire. I actually went downstairs after I'd done a lot of that and was like, yeah, this is completely wrong, isn't it? And the spare bedroom is an absolute tip now, because the reason I was doing it by color is because I know there's like 20 colors, and that's fine. So you can get
it looks good. It's easier, right?
Yeah, but like by parts, it's like a minefield. So I've started to do it, and my OCD because of that is like Steph will say like, oh, that one's got a hole in, that one's got, that's fine, just put them together and then you can sort them later. No. If I'm doing it by part, it's only one part per little bin.
Good luck.
You can't do that. You can't do that because nobody has enough bins to do that. And so you have to phase it. And so like, do you know what I mean? So like, there's no way to do it.
So I've started doing that now. So for instance, like my plates, I've put everything that's like 4 plates wide. I'll put all them together for now, and then like modified. I've started to slowly do that, but originally I was like, no, this one is that right. That one goes there, and I've only got like one of that entire piece, but it's in an entire bucket on its own.
That's what I did at the beginning at first, and then when I got that really bulk lot of stuff, it was like I did that video, it was like 1K or whatever, and a lot of it was just a ton of pick a brick from over the last couple of years that this person had collected, and a bunch of it, like basically I would take and dump out like one entire color of one entire piece in a drawer, but then like nobody needs that. So I was like, wait a second, I can just take like 3 or 4 of them, put them in the drawer, take the Ziploc, and do a back stock, right?
Yeah,
and so you have to layer the access to the pieces.
I weirdly have like it must be about this big of just Lego carrots.
Oh, me
too. I don't know why. I don't know where I bought them or why I bought them, but I bought them.
Yes,
they're from the pick a brick wall
Lego store. I'm like, why are people getting a ton of these?
I got this. This was from that lot. I was thinking, now
the Easter lot from like 2 years ago.
So I'm thinking, I don't know. I'm gonna do something like make a roof texture or something with these suckers. You know what I mean? Just like
you could do something with it.
I think my favorite use. My favorite use of those carrots are the engines on the X-Wing.
Oh, what? That sounds awesome. They're such weird little pieces. Yeah, I have so many carrots. Anyway, I'm in the process of like rectifying that mistake of like dumping one of those entire bags into here. Yeah. And then I'm just going to take a few of these and put them in the food drawer, and then all of this goes into Ziploc somewhere else, and then I can use this for like slopes or bricks or something like more effective. But we're going to be combining our 2 collections together, and that's going to be,
Oh, good luck.
That's going to be a drama video. I think, that's going to be ridiculous. So, but how is Steph doing with the second bedroom? Like completely in utter shambles.
Yeah, she's okay at the moment, but that's usually the bedroom that's like always pristine, because it's the one where her family comes to visit and stuff. And at the moment, it's like a bomb site.
But it's for a good cause.
Yeah. Like I can't even get in there because there's just little boxes on the floor. Because I just like put them all on the floor at the moment, because it's like easier to just get the big bag and like, oh, that one goes there, that one goes there. And
can you explain your second bedroom scenario for people that haven't seen that video?
Oh, so basically what we did was, it was weird actually. I pretty much bought my IKEA drawers, I think, the same day as Claire, because she put a picture. I was like, I'm actually at IKEA right now buying those drawers. So,
we got them that day. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I just bought 2 of the wider Alex drawers, so the ones that look more like an architecture's kind of drawing board, but they're not the cool ones, but they're good enough. And when we were there, there were a couple of like cardboard inserts that they're not that great, but I was like, we'll buy these just to get me started, sort of thing, putting bricks in. So yeah, Steph doesn't want anything in that bedroom that's like looks like Lego, if that makes sense. She wants it to look okay. It's fine that it is, but like just wants it to look like a normal bedroom, and which is why I've got the attic. She like wants the attic to be the Lego space. So yeah,
fair.
But
it's overwhelming if it's like everywhere else.
It is everywhere at the moment. It's crazy. Like I don't even want to think about I think all of us. I think we could probably have all retired with the amount of money we spent on Lego during COVID. It's crazy. So
yeah. I think that like we had people over for dinner yesterday, and just like almost everything, like there was Lego everywhere, and it was just like everything got pulled back into here, and it's so much nicer out there. And there's like a few things that are out on the shelves like temporarily, but I think what I'm actually going to be doing is like just having the modulars like out there, because they look really good on my modular shelves. And I'm not going to I don't have the room to do a city with modulars. I'm going to be doing a city with like a different scale building. So so that's it. So they're just going to be on display on the shelf, and they're pretty. People every time people come over, they're like, "Is that Lego?"
Yeah.
Because they just think it's like cars and things.
Whereas if you had like the Jurassic Park gate or something on the side, it might be a little bit different.
Exactly.
Which is what I've currently got in our dining room, just the Jurassic Park gate there.
I think there's most of my friends would be like, this is super cool, but like I could never have this in like my apartment and stuff like that. People are always like so many of my friends are minimalists, and they're like, I love Lego, but I don't want it in my house. I'm like, you don't love Lego, get out. Like don't try to relate. Like this is not this is not a conversation starter, guys. I don't need you to like love Lego. I have plenty of friends and the entire internet to connect with other people like that. But
I mean, you have one friend now.
There's addiction.
That's true. That's true. I brought my buddy Doug into it, and he like live streams with us. Yeah, every once in a while now. And he passed his last architectural exam yesterday or like Saturday. And he called me from the Lego store. He's like, "Do you want anything?" I'm like, "Does that mean you passed?" And he was like, "Yes." And he bought himself Assembly Square. So it was like very
nice.
Yeah, and he almost bought Ninjago City Gardens at the same time. I was like, "Oh dear." Yeah. Like what?
You look what you started.
Going hard.
It's okay. It's fine. He can afford it, so I don't feel bad about it. But like, and he's very, very smart with his money. I haven't I didn't just grab my friend and put him into debt.
Those are not easy sets to start with.
He started with the 3-in-1s, which he has 11. By the way, he started listening to Cali Bricklix, so shout out to Doug. But he
he just started like 20 weeks in.
Well, it's okay.
Hey, it doesn't matter when.
All right, it's all good. It's all good.
You're never late.
Safe space. Come on, buddy.
Hey,
No,
don't worry, bikers are listening to this too.
He started with a lot of the like 3-in-1s. I actually gave him one of the, what is it? It was the gift with purchase, the one that had like, it was like last summer. It was the robot one. No, the robot one.
The white robot one?
The Mindstorms one.
Oh, the teal one.
And he loved it. I gave it to him for like Hanukkah, and he loved it. And I was like, what? And then he got into it and like did so much other stuff. So so his birthday is this week, so he's getting another set from me. But
happy birthday.
Yeah.
I know you're listening to this.
At least it's easy to buy for someone who likes Lego.
It's so fun. And like another one of my girlfriends got into it. Wait, what?
It could be hard to buy Lego for someone who loves Lego. Because you don't know.
You always have it all as well.
Yeah, like if I were to buy a gift for any one, well, Ninja might be a little easier, but for Claire and Chris, I'll be like, what does he not have?
Yeah, and what has he not already bought for himself that's already on the way? That's also difficult.
Like gift card.
Like Tech got me the Steamboat Willie for my birthday, and I'm totally gonna like call myself out on this one. I thought I bought it for myself, so when it came, I opened the package, didn't read like the review, and just like put it away.
Oh man! And like Tech's like waiting for like a thank you.
Tech, I told Tech that it never showed up. That like, and he was like chasing down the Bricklink like person to like get tracking information. Turns out I got it a couple days before my birthday. It's literally one of the most generous things anyone could have done. And I was like,
Sorry, tech.
Yeah,
because
that's
I
awesome.
buy so much stuff for myself that literally I forget.
It is crazy because like I'll have an Amazon order. I'm like, when did I buy that? And then you open it, you go, oh yeah, I remember getting that. I just forgot that I clicked that purchase yesterday. You just, especially when there's something like 20% off, and you think, oh, go on then, I'll grab that.
Yeah, and I to the point that like I forget, and like Sans has a better memory of what I've bought than I have.
That's definitely not good.
That's bad. That's like when you know you have a problem. Like I remember my dad said to me when I was really little, it was such an outrageous thing. He was like, you know, you've really made it in life is like if you buy a car and the following week you forgot you bought it. Like basically you make such a big purchase that like, which by the way, I don't
even matter. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't think this is that, guys. I think this is like some kind of like cognitive dissonance to like how much you're spending. Yeah, and the addiction. Do you know what I mean?
I know I was addicted when I was about 6 months in and I started a backlog. That's when you know you're addicted. When you've got sets that you haven't built. And I've got way too many.
I like how we all looked at our stuff right now.
I think I have more sets. I have more sets unbuilt than built.
I think I do.
Wow. Wow.
But I've also taken apart
Got a
lot
problem,
of
Claire.
sets. I've taken apart a lot of sets, guys. I'm also okay with that. I've gotten to that point where I'm just like disassembling things and putting them in bags and putting them away because I get overwhelmed by too much visual clutter and it's going to make me not like the hobby. I'd rather it be in a container.
I got a question.
That's what happened. That happened with my city. It was too much visual clutter, and I kind of just like broke down and stopped doing it for a while because it was too.
Yeah, you just need a break.
I was like,
what's everybody's like oldest backlog set right now?
Oldest backlog
set. So the set that you've had the longest sitting back there.
Okay, so not that literally like
not little set oldest because you could have got that like
yeah, because I've got a Grand Emporium in my
yeah. I'm talking about like set that's been in your backlog like for like years and you haven't touched it.
I have the Tantive 4.
When did you buy that?
When it came out.
Hold on. I don't think that's that bad. I'm definitely gonna beat Chris on this one. Is it like a set that you built and then took it apart and it's
no. Brand new. You haven't touched it. You haven't opened it. It's just been sitting in your backlog. Mine would be the Bugatti.
Oh, that's quite a long set. That's quite old.
That's quite old. Yeah. I got it in 2019.
Yeah.
I think mine might be Tower of Orthanc.
Wow. I don't know what that is. Is that Ninjago?
It's Lord of the Rings.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's what it's called? Oh, wow.
The big tower.
Yeah, the big tower. Yeah. Oh my god.
I think because I definitely got that when
you win. You win.
So would the backlog be only something that you plan on building?
No. Just it's a set that you have that you bought. Obviously, if you bought it, you plan on opening it one day, and you never opened it.
No, not if it's for investment. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, fine.
The Vader
bust. Do investment too, but investment like you don't plan on keeping that. Like you have a mindset
so that doesn't count.
That doesn't count. No, something that you meant to enjoy yourself.
Actually, I don't have too much. Actually,
no, because you're you have the most control.
Control.
You're the controlled one.
Yeah.
So do you guys have a budget or not? Do you guys have a budget or do you just?
I pass.
Yeah, I've started this month to have a budget because
I pass all time.
It's crazy.
No, Ross has it the best. Mr. Soros, he pretty much says, yeah, we have a budget, but the best way to beat your budget is to increase your budget.
There you go.
I just loved your. I think it was about the Superstar Destroyer when I was trying to convince Steph, and you were like, "That's a later shy. That's a later shy.
Yeah, it's a later shy problem. It's not mine. I'll deal with that later.
Not past shy. Not past shy. Not present shy.
Yeah.
I found myself wanting to spend less on other things like travel, restaurants, groceries because of Lego, and then that's making me want to spend less on Lego. Because that's like stuff that's going to be, it's important again now that like, the country's opening up over here. And so a lot of, I'm traveling this summer a lot. And so that's like thousands of dollars going to that. You know what I mean? There's even if we're traveling in a budget way, but there's.
Well, it's really stupid. Like one of my friends is getting married in a couple of months and we're doing a stag do. And when they first told me about the stag do, my brain, even though it's going to be awesome, I'm like going, I could have bought Ninjago Gardens with that plane ticket, or
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
you know, and you think, what, like, this is a great time with your mates that you haven't seen in like a year and a half,
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
and you automatically like, oh, but I could spend that on. Yeah, it's not a good way
That's
to
what I
think.
We
You
had
gotta
we had 7 weddings to
reprogram.
go to last year, and none of them happened.
Mm.
And we saved thousands and thousands of dollars not
Yeah.
going to any of those weddings.
Yeah.
Because every time you go to a wedding, you got one, gotta buy the gift, gotta buy your Airbnb
tuxedo and stuff.
or whatever. Well, I mean, I buy
Yeah.
suits.
Oh.
And then you know, all the money you're spending just being there, like drinks, food, like
It's
outside of the
also-
wedding, it's just ridiculously expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope people have less weddings. But anyway,
Weddings.
no, I
Less,
hope
less mass weddings.
I
Like
hope
nice,
yeah.
Hit
subtle-
the courthouse.
No, I
short,
hope that
tied
it
a knot.
becomes I hope I
Visual.
think it's becoming
a
trendy to
Facebook
have
post.
smaller weddings again, which is nice.
Dude, I had 200 people in our wedding.
I
That's
don't even
fine.
know
That's
200
fine.
people.
But like I hope that like
No, we wanted a small wedding, and then it jumped to 200.
I can imagine that.
Yeah.
yeah.
We had 13 hours, so
13. See, that's
But that was
that's
forced
magical.
though, right?
yeah, we did
Under
it
COVID.
like a month
Yeah.
ago. So yeah,
Yeah.
we're lucky enough. Well, kind of lucky, you know. However you look.
I
at
wish
it.
I had that
Wait,
excuse.
Yeah, we had it as an excuse, and then if we want to later on, we can have a bigger party. But
Mhm.
for
Yeah,
now,
you
it's
could
like it's fine.
I just hope that like that whole like obligation to go to people's weddings kind of goes away.
Mm.
That's
Do you know what I
it.
mean?
Yeah. That's the thing.
Like and like you only go to the ones that you really want to go to, like the people that you really care about or the ones that you know are going to be like killer parties or something, like, you know what I mean? Like, so you don't feel obligated anymore. I think that's
Yeah.
I think that's the hard part, is like spending this money on an obligation, and it feels like paying bills almost. Do you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Yeah.
And like it's even outside the money, it's like PTO, and you know that's really valuable time as we get older, that we could be sitting recording a podcast about absolutely nothing on a Monday morning. You know what I mean?
Nice.
It's like
Yeah.
Nicely demonstrated.
Yeah.
it's like I'd much rather be doing that now that I realize I'm like my time is so valuable. I need to be talking
you know
about
what?
how I
I
organize
need
my
to be there.
carrots.
Whatever. I didn't buy a motorcycle like I was supposed to, so that went onto the Lego.
That's ridiculous. That is a
Let's buy a
huge
new
amount of
one.
money. Yeah.
That
Well,
would have been 28 grand for the bike I wanted to get it the way I wanted it to be. I was supposed to buy that last year, and yeah, it didn't happen.
So we bought a BMW i3 like about 6 months before we went into lockdown, and it's done about 5,000 miles. So what a waste of money.
Or
It's
all
literally
vehicles
just
a
sat
waste of money.
Yeah, it's just like that's great.
So
Can't go
usually-
anywhere in it.
when I do my taxes, like with my accountant, they give you the option of like taking your return for the year and applying it to the following year. And so instead of like putting it into your account,
Mhm.
and I checked that box off before I took my time off of work, because I was
Oh,
like,
no.
and so that's like a few $1,000s that I could have had back into my bank account, and I already said yes, apply it to like next year, but because that's a responsible thing to do, boys and girls, is to plan ahead. But when you have a Lego addiction, you tend to change that. No, it's a good thing I did that, but like
It's still in control, so you controlled yourself.
yeah, and I'm still paying my credit card in full. That's like the key point. But yeah, anyway, let's get back to the topic at hand, which is like you know, in terms of like payments and business, and you know, obviously the Brikx channel turned into like a business channel, and you know, it's obvious like in your videos when you started making like not a business switch, but like there was definitely like a change. You know what I mean? Like there was like more effort being put in. It was like less casual. It was like more of a production in a good way. This is a compliment. I hope it comes off as that. But like it was a compliment, and I was inspired by it. I was like, okay, I need to like step up the game too. It's like, you know, you and I both come from like kind of a design field, and we have like a little bit of an advantage, right? We know how to like use Photoshop at its basic level. We know like basic design aesthetic and like how to lay out, like, you know, maybe like frame a camera and things like that. And so do you feel that like you wouldn't, the channel wouldn't be where it's at today without your background? Or do you think that like anybody can get there with like just the amount of time and effort that they can put in?
Yeah, I think a lot of mine, being honest, was probably time and effort when I started. Because actually, if you want to have a laugh, look at the first 3 or 4 videos of my channel, and I actually have Benny from the Lego Movie as my avatar. And then I drew a really terrible avatar, and obviously I already do graphic design. I've been doing it for 20 years, but I just couldn't be bothered.
You just didn't even want to do it. You didn't even want to use the skills that you had.
No, I just wasn't that bothered. I mean, I made them on my iPhone, most of the videos. It just wasn't that much, to it. And then I don't know why, when I decided to really go, do you know what? I think it was to do with at work. So obviously I work in the marketing department, and our YouTube channel for work isn't that good. And I was saying, like, it's not that hard to do YouTube. You just got to be consistent. And so they kind of was like, I'm just going to show you how to do it. So I kind of then decided to make mine more serious, to show work that it's not hard to do, sort of thing. So, but I was lucky with my camera as well, because that's actually work's camera. So I didn't have to
nice. So. That's amazing. It's a very nice camera.
Yeah, so it's an A7 III Sony thing. I mean, it's quite old now, but yeah, it works fantastic. I mean, it's like a $3,000 camera that I didn't have to buy, so that definitely helps out.
That's awesome. Yeah, so that's definitely like a leg up.
That was definitely a leg up. Yeah.
Do you think that, like, I don't know, like, I think that, like, your videos definitely have like a production value that like a lot of people don't have, in terms of like the cadence and like the way that it's edited, and like you have like a lot of stuff like popping on screen in like a really entertaining way that I think a lot of people like don't know how to do that, including myself. And like, what made you decide to do that? Like, why did you go in that direction? Like,
a lot of it's probably to do with, again, I like techie stuff. I've always been into that kind of stuff. So if I see something, I think this probably the same as you, Claire, going from a design thing. I want to know how to do it. So I kind of do I watch a lot of tutorials and figured it out. Recently, I don't know what I should say. Yeah, I'll say this. Recently, I had a message on a couple of Asking It to Go, probably like 6 or 7 Asking It to Go, 6 weeks ago, which Asking, if you don't know, is a weekly thing where people ask me questions. And then someone asked me what software I used to edit videos, which a lot of people think.
I think people get that question. I got that question even. Yeah.
So I do use Final Cut Pro, which is obviously a very expensive software. And I thought, that is actually quite expensive. Let's see what I can do. So the last 6 weeks, I have edited every single video, every single thumbnail on my iPad.
I did that. I did my first like 10 videos on my iPad, and it's totally feasible.
So I use, I don't know what you use, but I use LumaFusion, it's called. Which is
I just use iMovie on my iPad.
Oh wow, yeah. But I think people sometimes, and I think this is YouTube in general, a lot of people get worried about the software, and so they never make it, they never start. And I think sometimes just start it, and then you can always turn it into something later.
Yeah,
isn't it called like the toolbox fallacy or something like that?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but good mechanics know how to do anything with the tools that they have.
Exactly.
Yeah, and not just that, but it's a lot of people are convinced that like in design school, like we learn how to use software, but at least in my education system, we learned like a couple things, like how to get started, but like the big architecture software, we actually don't learn it, and it's like it's up to us to like teach ourselves to like graduate with a leg up. And so you're basically taught to teach yourself how to like Google things or YouTube.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I used to look, and hopefully I get to go back again when COVID goes. But I used to go to Adobe Max in LA, which is the big Adobe. And you know what? Photoshop has so many updates every year that you wouldn't know that anyway. You actually, if you're which I used to be, and I've stopped doing it now. If you're I can't really call it a Photoshop guru, I think it's called. You have to take the exam every year because they have that many changes. That you have to keep doing it. And but yeah, I self-taught myself Adobe Illustrator, which is the vector version of Photoshop. And I actually use that on more than Photoshop. It's my main one, especially for logo design and stuff.
Yeah, if you do any kind of logos, any kind of graphics, it's same. It's that I did. I took a basic graphic design course, and we learned how to use InDesign, which is like how I created my portfolio, and Illustrator. So if you're like if you're doing layouts and stuff, but that's
100%.
That stuff it's expensive, but it's like also an investment. Like it's
if you're going to use it for like your business or something, you have to invest in yourself.
And I think also, like, I'm going to sound really old now, but when I was a kid, there wasn't things like the internet like there is now. You can literally learn anything you want on Skillshare or Lynda, I think it's called, or whatever the Amazon one. Like when I mean, so I'm so old that Facebook wasn't even a thing in the first year of uni. So, like, social media wasn't that big of a thing back then.
Well, it
so,
wasn't.
Mark Zuckerberg was still trying to figure it out.
Well, yeah. So I was on Facebook during its like first year, and it's because they basically, it was just like Mark Zuckerberg basically did it so that he could like connect with a girl he thought was cute, and that's all it was. It was like adding friends and like being like, oh, that guy or that girl is cute, and you like add them, and that's all it was. And it was like every week there was like 2 to 3 more universities added to Facebook.
Yeah.
And then I remember it was like maybe even after college where it was like became like a public thing. And it's like then all of us were like, our parents were adding us on Facebook.
Yeah, I was like, oh no.
And it was a whole thing. Exactly. Yeah. And then businesses started coming onto Facebook, and then social media became social media. Then it was just like, it was like AIM, but with photos before. You know what I mean? You could just like poke, and you couldn't even send messages. You could just look at profiles, and that's it.
Yeah. I think like the big one I got into was obviously MySpace.
Yeah.
I had a band at uni as well. So you're like, oh, I can put my music on here. I can change the cursor so it's a little smiley face or something. Like the amount of customization.
Were you friends with Tom?
Yeah,
everyone was friends with Tom.
Everyone was friends with Tom.
Yeah, you're automatically friends with Tom.
You have one friend when you come on already.
But yeah, I mean, like that's what Facebook was. It was mostly like photo sharing versus, and do you remember it was like you'd post, and by the way, if you have photos from college that could get you canceled and you want to have an internet platform, take them down now.
Or private them.
Yeah, or private them. So like I had things like, there were themed parties in college that would never happen now. Never happened for good reason.
It was a totally different time back
then.
It
was a totally different time. There were things that were said to me and things that I said that are totally unacceptable now.
Not okay.
Thank God.
Well, it's interesting. Like, I know a lot of people have been saying about certain things with Friends, talking about Lego again. Friends there's quite a few episodes there that are a bit controversial, and they don't show certain episodes because of it, because of how we've changed. And I mean, it was really sad because someone said, oh, you're getting a new Friends apartment. And I was like, oh, no, I watched that 20 years ago when it was out. And someone commented again, that wasn't 20 years ago. It was more like 30 years ago. And I'm like, oh, my God, how old is Friends?
Yeah.
Right. I remember the season finale or the series finale was during senior year of high school. And I remember it very yeah, exactly. And it was I remember having I never watched the show, but I love to host. So I had people over for like a little kind of like watch party. And one of the main plot lines or one of the main joke lines, I don't know what to call it, and but it was making fun of Chandler's effeminate side. And I mean, it's like deeply homophobic if you really think about it.
Yeah, it's the same with Joey, really. I mean, a lot of his is the fact that he's he's a ladies' man, whereas a lot of the lines that he says and stuff, and actually there's, talking about the effeminate, there's an episode where he has a man bag. And that was, it's all about,
that's the whole point of the episode.
Yeah.
I feel like that's like all shows 90s below.
Yeah. And then even like for Ross and Rachel, like, were we on a break? Were we not on a break? In terms of it's like almost like this like singular box of definition of a relationship, and the fact that like the issue is that they didn't communicate rather than the fact that how they defined ownership of another person. And it's just like, it's so dated. And there's like no actual lessons being learned. Now, the thing that I find concerning about that show is not necessarily the fact that it existed when it existed, because that was a time and place that was different. It's the fact that it's still relevant today, that people still watch it on repeat. They fall asleep watching this idiotic show, and they identify with it in such a deep way. And that's what I think is like kind of shocking. The fact but it's like, I don't know. Am I being like a little too like I feel like cancel culture about it? Because it's not relevant. It's not even funny.
I feel like that's all old shows though, like Married with Children and
I
mean, if you want to go all the way back to I Love Lucy,
So Claire, I'm guessing you're getting the Lego apartment set then, yeah? I'm guessing that's your favorite set.
If I get it, it's I'm just parting it out. That's immediate. That's immediate.
Selling the figs.
It's like a statement. It's like
no, but bring it all the way back. Do you still watch shows like I Love Lucy, Gilligan's Island, stuff like that?
I don't. I definitely.
Can you appreciate the shows for what they are from when they were made?
For sure, I do. But the thing is nobody watches them now. It's something like WandaVision where it almost did a parody and a statement on those kind of shows like Bewitched and stuff like that. That was awesome.
I think because I love Star Wars, and obviously that came out in 1977, so there's a lot of stuff there with that. But I would watch still stuff like Red Dwarf, which is a British TV comedy. I don't know if you've heard of that, sci-fi one. Most of that's irrelevant now, but I still do watch it because I just like it. But I honestly haven't watched Friends in probably 10 years.
Also,
I was never really into it myself.
Yeah,
actually.
yeah, me neither. Didn't it come out though during a time on TV where there's like a bunch of weird shows like that? Like there's what?
I don't know. I was too busy watching Road Rules and Real World.
Yeah, I never really watched
also
sitcoms
bad.
like that.
That
was
sexualizing. That was bad.
Also South Park.
South Park, I still watch.
I still watch South Park.
I watched all that trash.
Yeah.
But I think
at night.
but Lego's not making a real world Road Rules Lego set. They're not making a South Park set. They're not making a Family Guy set. They're not making that kind of stuff. They made Simpsons.
They made Simpsons.
They made Simpsons, so it's like very weird. But they did. But they're doing Friends. It's interesting the like picking and choosing. I think what I have found is like Friends is almost more popular in Europe now than it is in the US. Like a lot of people that like and in South America. So I wonder if they're just like it's just like a target that they know that it's still relevant. The first one did so well. They're still keeping it in stores. It's not. Do you notice they're not
even their anniversary coming out for that show?
HBO Max is doing a special on it. Yeah, exactly.
The timing is perfect.
I think with Netflix as well in the UK, we got it here on Netflix, which seemed to be at a perfect time where people were binging stuff. And
I think that was all correlating to the same thing. I think that's just perfect timing. Lego's part.
Yeah, but I think The Office is less inappropriate than Friends.
Maybe that's why they released Friends and the Everyone is Awesome set. So they were like, look, we're doing.
That they cancel each other out.
More modern.
Good and evil at the same time.
Yeah. We're like, hey, we got both sides. Don't try to cancel us.
That's smart. If you want to look at it that way.
I think Lego as a whole isn't a company that I know they have these values, but I think a lot of the time they bend them anyway. It's like they don't do military, but they'll do Star Wars. Like they won't do military, but they'll have them in Indiana Jones sets. There's a lot of stuff like that, and they say they won't do politics, and then they obviously do certain political sets. There's a whole kind of like, and I just think they're a company at the end of the day. They'll do whatever they want to do.
Yeah, they don't do religion, but they do architecture, and fundamental part of architecture is like religious buildings.
The Colosseum is technically like kind of it's founded on death and.
It absolutely is. But like as far as architectural history goes, it's really important to know things like Notre Dame and Sagrada Familia. These are iconic, informative. You can look at them in a secular way, but they don't do that stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, I really don't understand why they won't do Notre Dame. I mean, Notre Dame is beautiful. I could make a fantastic set as well. I don't even collect architecture, but I see why architecture collectors would want that set. And especially because I even thought what a fantastic thing it would be where they could do that and percentage of the funds could go towards rebuilding it during the fire and things. They could do things like that, really help out, and that would even maybe educate people on architecture as well.
Absolutely.
And its importance,
they could do a whole thing about the flying buttress and like why it's iconic, and then the grandiose. I mean, like they don't need to go into like the reason why so much money was like funneled into something like this was like to almost instill fear and a godlike like obsession in people. You know what I mean? That was why it was built, and that's why. Like, imagine being like in deep poverty in the Middle Ages, and you like walk in, and there's like this monstrosity of a building with like. It's overwhelming. Of course you're going to believe in God. There's like no way to justify how this thing was built. But anyway, regardless, it's an engineering masterpiece, which I think it should be recognized as such. And, the Colosseum is like halfway not even there anymore, for God's sakes. Like, get out.
I think it makes a fantastic fruit bowl.
Yeah, exactly. Or a catnap area. Salad bowl, whatever you want to use. Yeah. Ridiculous.
Wow.
I know.
Sounds like a Tell Me Why video in the making.
I mean, I already did a Tell Me Why on the Coliseum.
You did.
But for the architecture.
Well, yeah. I mean, I could talk about it from like an education perspective, but that's okay. Anyway,
I think if they did it, they would do it the same kind of size as the Coliseum instead of it being a smaller architecture set.
I mean, I don't know how they would get the articulations of like the facade.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
If it was smaller, yeah.
I mean, they could do it. They could do it, but it would be like a true micro build. I don't know. Okay, let's get into some controversial topics, guys. I don't like Lego architecture. I don't like them. I'm not interested in them in any way whatsoever. I have no desire to collect them. I don't want to buy them. I find them to be incredibly expensive. They're not for me. But I know a ton of architects love them and they get given them as gifts.
They were actually a thing that I was looking at to think, shall I buy them as an investment? Because I know they do well and I have no intention of ever opening them. So
they're good to have like sitting there.
Whereas most of the sets I bought, so I bought the roller coaster, but I have kind of like always peeled away at the sticker because I want to open that thing so bad that I know that I'm never gonna sell it. It's a set that I was like, oh, I've got nowhere to put it, but it's never going to get sold.
Yeah, do it.
It's just such a cool set. Whereas with architecture, yeah, whatever. You want it? Yeah, double the price. There you go. You can have it. I'll spend it on the Lego.
That's true. They do go up, especially like the iconic ones like the Guggenheim or, you know what I mean? Like those big buildings. I don't know. Do the city landscapes like do particularly well?
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I have no idea.
I've never really looked. Like I said, I've never looked at them. I just know that when I've seen the retired ones on like Amazon or Brikx, they tend to be super pricey, especially over here.
Do you think also like our kind of circle of people that we interact with, no one really collects the architecture sets? And do you think that's like part to do with it? Like we can't really like negatively influence each other as well?
Maybe. I've only seen one person actually collect the architecture sets, and they're not around anymore. So.
I thought I was gonna start collecting them because I started getting them for places that I've been, and then I realized after building the Las Vegas one, like I don't have any plans of building the others.
That's the only one I built. Is the Vegas
that's
one.
The only one I built is the Las Vegas one. I do have the London one. I was gonna get all the places that I've been to, but then like after building the first one, I was just like, oh, this is cool.
I think that is something cool about them. Like for instance, like I said with the Colosseum, I was never ever going to buy that, but if I proposed at the Colosseum or something, on holiday, then you go, oh, that'd be a fantastic set. It's something personal to you. And I kind of think those smaller architect sets like that, like if it was Paris or New York,
the Eiffel Tower,
they'd be great to like have. Oh yeah, that's where we kind of.
It would be cool to have a wall with the new atlas that's coming out, the map, and then you had like lines like of places like they going outwards, between like if you're pointing inwards.
Just what you could do for that is though, you could actually put the magnet sets that they're bringing out on that.
That's true.
Yeah,
you could do that.
Because they're doing those, so you could like get the magnets. So like that would look really cool on
those
that.
Those are really cool.
That would be that'll be dope.
I don't know how the magnet would go, but essentially you're doing a micro build that could go over there.
Yeah. Snap it in.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool. Wheels are turning.
How to do that?
Yeah.
I mean, that works for you, Claire, because you've traveled a lot of places. So
I have. That's the thing. Oh my god, this is so.
It wouldn't be very much. It'd just be a whole sea of micro builds. You'd be like, what is that underneath it? It's just,
it wouldn't fit. It wouldn't fit. There's like certain areas there's certain areas I have not been to for sure. Yeah, I was like, wait a second, just a little modesty might be okay. It's okay.
Okay.
Well, sorry, Ninja, go ahead.
No, I was gonna get into a segue, but never mind.
do it, because I wasn't gonna say anything important.
So, you didn't get into LAN.
No,
that wasn't subtle at all.
I know. I'm just like, I don't know how to subtly put this, but
no, I didn't get into LAN. No, I didn't.
Did they
do a little polar opposite with Emily?
Yeah. So it's weird because a lot of people think that I'm already in LAN, which is a bit of a weird one. I get a lot of messages saying, when are you doing the review of this set? Have you got this set and things? And it's like, no, I don't. I'm not in. Like, I'm not. Like, I think a lot of people think because I buy so much Lego and do reviews that I don't buy them.
There's no way. There's no way this maniac is spending out of pocket.
Yeah.
Like this degree.
I think there's a lot of that, and it's like, no. I buy all this because I'm an idiot. Because I just like the hobby. So
I love it. Do you want to talk a little bit more about it and like your experience kind of applying?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really. I don't know if any of you guys have ever applied for LAN, but it's one of those weird ones where they didn't really give any feedback as to why you weren't accepted. And then you look at it and you go, well, there are certain channels that are the same, that have the same numbers. They're actually not getting as many numbers or haven't got as much community. And I think that's another thing with Lego. They're not very transparent about it. So you don't know what you can do. So for me now, it's like, I don't think I'll bother again. I don't think there's any point.
It wasn't your artwork, was it?
No, they didn't say anything. I mean, I don't want to be offensive to anybody, but I could literally, the email that I got, they wrote, said that I don't fit into any niches, is what they said to me.
Ooh, interesting.
So, yeah.
What is that? I don't even know what that means.
Exactly.
Isn't this whole thing
yeah,
niche?
it was,
yeah. If you're like more focused on like a theme.
Yeah, it wasn't
like
even
part of the community.
Yeah, I have no idea, because I kind of already do fit into that, especially at the time when I applied, because I was massively into the Lego City stuff. And I mean, I've done quite a lot with the new road plate stuff and, building cities. A lot of people always say, oh, I've made a city because of your channel, and can you help me out and all that kind of stuff. So I don't really know. But to be honest, I also don't want to change what I do because of getting free Lego sets.
Yeah.
If that's how they feel and they want people to form, maybe it's, I don't know. I'm not completely like, oh, this set's amazing a lot of the time. So I don't know what it is, but I'm not going to change what that I'm doing. So I'll just do what I'm kind of doing and see what happens. But I know that Brikx got rejected quite a few times, and then they actually rang him to get into Lego this time because he wasn't applying again.
Oh, interesting.
So, because a lot of the big guys have also left. And the more I've been open about the rejection, the more people I know that are part of the lugs or whatever that have said, you know what, I don't know whether you'd want to be in it anyway, sort of thing. So I don't really know. I don't really know how I feel about it all. But, having free Lego and stuff is always a good thing.
Of course.
Yeah. And especially with the amount that I spend on it.
Yeah, it would have actually been impactful.
Yeah. And I think that's another thing where you're on about before with business and stuff. Now I have to look at it and go, is it worth the amount of effort I put into it as much now? Because there's a lot of people coming in to Lego that now have a foot up in a lot of ways. They get the news early, they get the sets early, and you cannot compete with that. It's just
no.
And I don't think Lego understand that you cannot compete with that. If they said like, oh, you only got 8,000 views for this video and someone's got 40,000, it's like, yeah, but I released that video 2 weeks later and I'm still getting 8,000 people wanting to watch it. I don't think they quite understand social in that aspect.
They don't.
Definitely.
But and I think that's why I think actually it was a bit of a rain check for me, because it was like, why am I spending all this time? Why am I trying to do this, which the company isn't really that bothered about anyway? They don't really care about you or your community. So
do you think that impacted the way you're going to do videos and where your channel's going forward? Well, like what you do, the type of content that you create?
I haven't touched a review now since January.
Do you enjoy reviews, or is it like...
I do enjoy them, but the problem that I found, and again, this goes back to the addiction and stuff, because you have to go to the store straight away to get the latest set, because there's no point doing a review if it's like a couple of days late. Yeah. You felt like you were... I felt like a lot of the sets that I built was like, oh, I forgot I built that set, because you run to the store, you get the set, you put it all together, you try and get the review out, and then you forgot you had it because
the joy
later, Lego released another set, and
you didn't get time to enjoy it, right?
I saw that. Like, I see that in a lot of people. I see people doing that, and they're like, they justify it by like, well, the channel grew this much and stuff, and I get that. I get that it does, and I understand it, but at the same time, like, is it still enough to take away from this hobby, this joy that you have? You know what I mean? And it's just, I think, like, so we went to Star Wars for, May 4th. That was like the first opening day that I've ever been to. And it was super fun. And we vlogged it and had a great time. And I'm probably going to do that again for the sets that I'm really excited about. But it's not going to be like a, rush to get it reviewed, because there's no point. Like, I've already, like, if you're doing it to rush, you've already lost. You're already starting at the wrong foot. So like, you need to, it's almost like when you're not supported. When you're not supported by Lego in that way, you almost have to be even more creative and even more talented to stand out if you want to do a review.
Well, it's the likes of, I think Lego YouTube as a whole is very backward in a lot of ways to how other areas are. And I was thinking this with my tech channel before, where if you're into Apple products, there are apps you can review, there are accessories you can review, there are other products like Samsung phone you could review. Whereas with Lego, you're only into that product. You can't really review a competitor because no one cares.
Yeah.
Even the accessories like light kits and stuff, they don't do as well as the generic Lego set stuff.
No.
So you're basically owned by a company. And if everyone just does reviews of that set, you're never going to be doing anything different because everyone does. I mean, it's even like the news stuff. Like, there's a lot of people that have come into LAN recently, and you look at the latest set. There's about 40 videos I get. It's like, oh, Daily Bugle.
Exactly.
Like, I don't really care. Like
my feed every time a new release.
It almost like takes away the excitement for the set.
Yeah.
So like I intentionally am not watching a lot of those because I actually really want that set and I want my joy to still exist. I want that childlike, like excitement that I still have. I don't want my hobby to be taken from me because I want to be successful at YouTube.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people that I've seen that are growing quickly is more due to them doing something different, like you're saying. Like Generic Stud's just blown up because he's really not doing Lego content. He's doing comedy and entertainment using the Lego theme. And that's the difference.
Yeah, he's got the, he's got that YouTube sensibility. You know what I mean? Like it's very comparable to a lot of ultra huge successful YouTubers.
Yeah, it's basically Tommy Innit. But done into Lego.
Yeah,
with Tommy C. Brikx, like he's doing a lot more. His mocks are really cool, and he's doing stuff that's different than just generic reviews.
Absolutely, yeah. And then like. And like Emily and Ross, it's like their personalities, right? It's like who they are. It's like, you know what I mean? It's like that core, that review channel thing is like done. There's only there can only be so many Just Too Goods. There can only be so many M&Rs. You know what I mean? Like that's it. And it's like once those guys are established, it's like, why do you need to see like 25 reviews on a single Lego set before you go buy it? Like, I don't think people need that. I don't think that's what they're looking for. And what's unfortunate, like I don't even like doing review videos, and I have no desire of doing them. You know what I mean? So like that's easy for me to say. But if you want to do them, like you said, you enjoy them. I think then that kind of sucks because you're like, okay, well, no one cares about what I have to say. It's like,
yeah. I mean, it's not that either because I do. I mean, some of my views are mainly the review ones, are the ones that kind of do well, but you just feel like you're on that rat race with it that you don't. Whereas like if you got the set a bit earlier or something, you could take your time, appreciate it, get a more thorough review out,
soak in the techniques.
Exactly. But a lot of the stuff recently I've gone away from. I mean, I don't even know what I'm doing on the channel recently. It's just kind of existing at the moment.
Do you think that's either benefiting you or hurting you?
It's definitely hurting. The channel isn't going anywhere near as fast as it was before, but at the same time, I'm kind of like not as bothered as I was before either.
That's
so
good.
I think it's kind of got that.
That's good.
It's kind of got that. And I think also a lot of people that were active on the community have started to go back to normality as well, which you have to understand that like I said, we grew during COVID, and people aren't going to be as stuck on YouTube when they go back to real life. So.
They won't, but then the community and the age of people that will still get back, like over the long term, YouTube will get bigger and bigger. It's really over the short. This is a short term problem, right? So it's just that persistence and that dedication is there. But Chris, I love your city videos. Those are my favorite.
I've not done one of those in about 4 months. So another thing why.
I like. Please, I don't want to force you to do them, but I love your city videos.
City videos are hard to do. City videos.
The problem is that that's the problem. I got someone the other day. I'll mention no names. That message saying, "I unsub from you. I don't need another Star Wars channel. I've got Ryan for that." Which what you're saying, just Claire. But it was like, but at the same time, it's like this isn't a full-time job for me. This is my joy of Lego, and do you know what? I aren't collecting every single Star Wars minifigure because it's making me a profit on the channel. They're the worst viewed videos of my stuff. Because I want to do them.
Keep doing it. You love it.
Exactly. And I think sometimes people have to realize that, the channel wasn't made for necessarily for other people, for profit. I mean, if you actually go back to the first Lego City one, it's because I decided I'd bought Assembly Square and I wanted to make a city. I had no idea what I was doing. Like I was literally just putting base plates down.
That's why it was great. I loved
Yeah.
it. I love it. And then you're like, wait a second. My favorite is you go like hog wild, you like in one direction, and then you're like, oh, and then you have to like rip everything in half, and you're like, well, last time you saw
only do that so many times.
Yeah, I think every single city video, it's like, well, last time you saw it this way, it's completely changed, and that doesn't exist at all anymore.
But see that's what great city
that's what makes it
builder
fresh,
YouTubers do. They
It's
literally flip it.
This is why Claire, I could never be an architect, because I'd get halfway and I'd be like, no, I've done it wrong. Start again, guys. It's only a couple of million.
Or you'd be a pretty bad city planner.
So bad. So bad.
We did it wrong. No, it's fine. There's a checks and balances system, and our project timelines are like 5 years and not 5 years. So it's like a little bit different. You know what I mean? It's like
yeah.
I
mean, I think if I was doing it full time, I could happily do a Lego City, because you could plan it. But when you've got full-time jobs, and then it's like you've got a couple of hours at night, and you're just like, I can't be bothered to do any of this week, and then it rolls on to the next week.
Yeah, no, exactly. It gets pushy. I think what's hard is like there's like videos that take days to put together, right? Weeks to put together. And a lot of us get really excited about those videos, right? Because those are like interesting and they're kind of motivating to do. But then like when you want to have an upload schedule, or when you want to upload regularly, those kind of go to the wayside, but they shouldn't be. It's like it's this like delicate balance between the two.
I think also this goes back to the land thing again. Actually, like you'll see a lot of land people will do those news videos and those views because they're easy views. You got a video made for that day. I've got that video. Like
you could do like 3 videos a day with that kind of content.
So they're getting the same views of something that, like you say, like I was getting the same kind of views for my asking it, which is where I just look on my stream and answer some questions, and I was building that thing, which takes time. Sometimes you're doing it in stuff.io, sometimes you're like buying a lot of because there's a lot of money as well. Cities aren't cheap. You're spending all that money and all that time, and you're like, oh, I'm getting the same views anyway. And I think that's where you're on about before with the love of it. You've got to do it for the love, which when you're doing it all the time and churning it out, you kind of lose that love sometimes, and you want to take a step away from it and then come back to it.
But just on a pragmatic sense, or like as a YouTube view sense, I find that those news videos, like they get a lot of views, but then they die out. You know what I mean?
I mean,
they're not evergreen content.
No, exactly. But the city content will be, if you've got your playlist, I'm sure your city videos are still getting views.
Oh yeah, I mean, that's like my most viewed playlist on my channel by far.
Yeah.
It's quite interesting actually when you see it, and then so I had a comment the other day which was like, oh, you should change this around. And I was like, what is he on about? And I went back to the video, and there's like a video from like 2 months when I started. And I was like, mate, you ain't seen nothing. Yeah, that city's moved 3 rooms.
Hey, that means your videos are still being recommended from that point of view.
Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah.
That's more valuable than the news videos. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but yes, you have to do it because you love it. But if you're looking at it from like a YouTube view standpoint, there's a benefit to those evergreens. Like Shy can't get away from the military stuff because that's like what.
Yeah.
Well, one, you've also branded yourself that way, so
it kind of sucks.
Kind of your shtick,
You're in there.
I try to venture out, I can't. I'm stuck.
It's like in case people didn't know, Shy is a Marine.
Oh yeah, right.
Just in case people didn't know.
Just in case.
That's my main advantage. Just because I'm a military guy doing military Lego.
Yeah, and it's like for me, I like need to drive the whole architecture thing home until you guys are like sick of hearing it. But but like that's what you said. You have to like find your niche, and it's like, but YouTube asks that from you.
Yeah, because when I started the Lego channel, I never did Star Wars ever, because I was like, what's the point? It's so hard to get any views on. I never bothered.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I started doing it recently, I think people now are like, why do you Star Wars? It's like, no, I've always liked that. Star Wars was the first thing I ever collected. I just never did it on the channel.
You were collecting Star Wars before you did YouTube. That's the thing. Yeah.
That's what kind of throws me off. Like, I don't see your channel as a Star Wars channel. I see you as a Lego collector that likes Star Wars. Whereas like if you look at Ryan's channel, that's a Star Wars channel. Like,
well, like Ryan also can't do like a Harry Potter video.
Yeah, he tries to venture out and it doesn't. It's okay, but
it's not like, it's different. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's a Star Wars channel. Whereas if Chris, if you did a Harry Potter video, it would be cool because like, oh, he just likes Harry Potter or something, you know. So that's why I said
Yeah,
I don't
I
see how
attempted
they
to do
could
a
say
Harry
that.
Potter. I attempted to do a Harry Potter video. I think I named one character right.
No, but Steph knows them. You know that.
Yeah, she does. I had to get her to. I was like, yeah, because
okay.
it's Diagon Alley, and I did not have a clue. I just thought the set was cool, and it's the like one and only pretty much Harry Potter set I ever bought, and yeah. I even watched all the movies the week before, and I still didn't know any of the characters.
That's
Hey, you
hilarious.
tried,
I don't even bother.
You did
There's
some
not
research.
even as many people in it as there are in Star Wars. Like, it's a much smaller world to wrap your mind around.
The difference is that I've been hooked on Star Wars since I was about 5, so you kind of
the
burn
knowledge
into
behind
your
that.
mind. Yeah. I'm terrible with the Clone Wars stuff because I never cared about the prequels, so I never watched the Clone Wars. So
you're an original trilogy guy.
Yeah, I'm an OG trilogy guy. So when we're on any streams and people are like, "Oh, Chris in Star Wars, what do you think about such as?" And I'm like, "Who's that?" Like, I don't watch Clone Wars.
No.
You know.
Yeah,
so
that is true. A lot of people.
So
are
You're the reason why Lego doesn't do Clone Wars stuff.
Yeah, because of me.
Yeah, Chris alone, exactly. No, but I don't know. I've been watching Star Wars like recently, and I'm almost done with the original trilogy. And you kind of watch it, and you're like, "This is bad."
Haven't you already? Hasn't it already been like months?
It's been months. I can only watch it in like 20-minute intervals, and I'm like,
Steph can't watch it. Steph's like, I've shown Steph the prequels, and we watched it all the way through, and she actually preferred the prequels to the original trilogy.
Well, it's because of technology.
Yes.
I was like, blasphemy.
Yeah. I'm sorry, but yes.
But like for me, my favorite's Return of the Jedi, and it's because I was a kid when I watched that. So I love the Ewoks and things. Whereas a lot of adults that watch them were like, I hate Return of the Jedi.
And I did teddy bears.
Yeah. Whereas obviously as a kid, I loved it. So that one.
No, I see it. It's so debilitatingly cheesy, though. It's like,
I feel like it's a generational thing.
Yeah, and it's the same thing for The Last Jedi, because a lot of us adult fans that watch it now, or like, you know, will say stuff like that we hate it, and it's like, well, that's some of the reasons we hate it. There's some of the reasons we love the old ones. Like, yeah, Porgs are stupid, and it's like, well, actually, they're just Ewoks. Just a difference.
Exactly.
But my favorite part is that like people take it so seriously, right? So like you watch Ryan's channel, and like the tone of his videos are really serious, right? And they're almost clinical. And then so you kind of forget that it's like it's like almost like slapstick, you know, in terms of the way that it is, or like
I never thought of that till now.
Sans called it like he's like, it's like a space soap opera, you know what I mean, or like whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And if you think about it that way, it's because when people talk about Star Wars, especially Star Wars Lego, with such intensity and such seriousness and such respect for it, you forget that it's just like, the fight scenes, like from Jabba's barge, like it's just ridiculous, and people are like, like Sans was explaining it to me, like you would never know that like Boba Fett is supposed to be like the baddest, bounty hunter in the galaxy or whatever it is, because he just gets like smacked by like someone.
He wasn't though. That's the thing. Like Boba Fett then wasn't anything. He was literally a side character.
He was just a side
people
character.
liked him so much that they made this backstory about him. Like,
yeah, well, that's like what I was like. I thought so when we get into it. So obviously I knew who Boba Fett was because of like, because of the Lego sets. I was like, oh, this guy has a helmet after him. Like he is revered. He's going to be impactful. Yeah, and then I literally turned to Sans. I was like, is he dead? Is that it?
That quick?
He's dead? That's he did he what? Like
I don't even think he has any lines in the third one. I don't think he has any lines in that film.
Dumbfounded by it. And so it's like, you know what I mean? You like almost like lose the sense because I didn't watch it as a kid, because I don't have that like,
attachment.
The person or the, just those the same feelings. It's like it's kind of surprising sometimes. So it's a little not a letdown, but it's kind of a shocker.
All that build up and like, dang, this guy's gonna be iconic. He's about to kill everyone.
Yeah,
what just happened?
Exactly. Because like
he lost his balance.
That's kind of like I don't know if you've seen Rogue One or not, but at the ending of Rogue One, there's an awesome Vader scene where he basically like annihilates everyone, and Ninja knows. And the thing is that's because in our heads, that's how we thought Vader was going to be like 30 years ago, and he never did that in any of the movies. In the movies, just stands there, and go,
wow.
No, exactly.
and
And he's in a robe,
slow,
and he's
but
clearly
in
tripping
our
over the
minds-
robe.
but in our minds, we're seeing him as this all-powerful beast, which you get to see in Rogue One, but it's like
For like
30
5
years.
It was very
ago.
satisfactory.
Yeah, exactly.
But-
And I think that was the hate towards Last Jedi, because we felt like that with Luke as well. And then we got that Luke, and we're like, what is this crybaby? Like, what are you doing? Like, Mark Hamill's a legend, Luke Skywalker's a legend, and you ruined it. Get out of here. Like, we don't want this film.
Yeah,
He's
it's
been
like it's
meditating
like
for
everybody's
years.
just like little boys and girls that like don't want any. They want what they think the reality is to like be.
But-
See, but the thing is like it's the lore and the intensity of Star Wars is akin to the people that love Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. And you watch the Lord of the Rings movies and they are incredible. They fundamentally but it's for the time, right? They're still incredible. You watch them now. And I get it that like when Star Wars came out, it was also incredible in terms of like special effects and whatnot. But like
For the time.
Yeah.
but it's still crappy acting.
Mark Hamill's a legend.
I don't know what you're talking about there.
Let's cut. No, I'm just-
It's so
edit that
cheesy.
out. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh man. Anyway.
I see where you're coming
Prequels get
from.
better,
but-
Claire.
So
yeah.
I mean, I'm getting canceled, guys. No, don't get me wrong. I'm enjoying Star Wars. I like it. But
It is true though. I think also, like you're saying, there's a love for different generations of people.
Yeah.
So I saw the prequels midnight, every single one, and I hated all of them. Whereas like Rogue, yeah, exactly.
Really good timing.
They're those favorites because they grew up with. Oh, this is amazing. These are.
Yeah.
Well, I was like, I came out of Attack of the Clones thinking, what the hell happened to Yoda? Why is he spinning around like a ninja? Like he's got a walking stick. And like the first one, I was like,
Oh,
what's
you were one of those
going
people
on
like,
with that?
oh.
Yeah, like Jar Jar Binks, what's he in? What's he doing in this? Like Maul was amazing, and that made up for the ending. And then you're like, okay, Maul's dead. We're gonna get someone amazing in the second one. And then you get like an old, Christopher Lee or whatever. It's like, what? Why have we got like the guy who played Vampire 30 years ago? What's he doing in this movie? And then the
I
third
remember
one,
that.
Revenge of the Sith,
Yeah. Mhm.
everyone loves that fight scene in that one, and I felt it was so close. I had a headache. I couldn't see what was going on. I was just like, this. I hated those movies. Yeah, I've grown to kind of accept them.
No, I remember when they came out, everyone in my life that was a Star Wars fan hated them. They were so hated because but if you were like just a few years younger, Ninja, like you loved it. Yeah. No, hated it.
It is true. It is true. And that's why I always say when people talk about the Disney ones, because I go, well, you hate them now, but there will be kids that have grown up with this.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We're gonna appreciate that trilogy and pretty much just talk trash about everybody else.
I don't understand why Star Wars fans keep fighting with each other and having this debate because it's irrelevant. Like whatever you watch when you were a child is what you're gonna like, and that's fundamentally it. It's just like, but you're just
Music, television shows, pretty much the way you dress.
Oh, I thought you were saying cue the music.
Oh yeah.
No. Yeah,
An episode?
but that's everything. Exactly what you said. Like the way your views on movies is going to be the same everywhere around culturally. The way you look, you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Even when we're old, we're all going to be wearing backwards caps or whatever, having tattoos.
No, I disagree with that. By the way, I was on Facebook looking at people I went to college with, and they have not modernized. Like, not my friends; they're still fine. But like other people I went to college with, they still dress the same way that we did in college.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I've changed the way that I get dressed.
I mean, I think you modernize yourselves to an extent, but like a good chunk of what you value pretty much comes from when you're young.
Hey, I dropped a couple X's on my shirts, so I know.
I don't think anyone is wearing baggy clothes anymore.
I gained a couple of X's on my shirts. That's just COVID weight.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, like at least for like women's style, like when I was in college, it was not flattering. It was like not dressed to like your body shape or anything at all. It was like kind of all the same, like billowy going out top and like ugly croppy jeans. And like I know so many people who still dress that way, and it is bad because they've gained weight and they look 20 years older, even though they're only 10 years older. You know what I mean? And it's like they just look like potatoes. And I'm just like, what? Like, why do you look like potatoes? They have 3 kids and they're miserable. But anyway. Anyway, on that note, thank you, Chris, for joining us today.
No problem at all.
Really appreciate it.
And
I'm
if
sorry
anyone
about
wants any
Nan.
illustrator lessons, so just let me know.
Exactly, of course. I hope you do some more city videos. I'm making my request. Thank you. I accept your apology with the color sorting.
My bad. I didn't mean to bring that up.
You know, it's okay. It's fine. Our friendship was on the rocks when he did that. You know, because he intentionally was like, Claire, you're gonna hate this, and he's like, look at all my great pieces. I was just like, we were on like side stream together. Yeah.
It's like, what is this?
I just thought it was something that you'd appreciate.
Yeah, no. You know what's funny? It's like there are a few like really legitimate like mock builders, like Brick Snaps and stuff. He organizes by color as well. But not all his pieces. He's got a really interesting way of doing it. But that's because he builds like massive mocks. He's like, yeah, I'm ready for some green pieces. And he's just like, boom. And like, just like puts like 1,000 pieces on one mock in one go. But yeah, I mean, obviously, Chris, you know, I know you as the savvy mock builder that you are. So
I'm incredible.
Yeah.
Mocks in the city. That's why they don't last the week, because I've usually knocked them over, because there's only like 2 sides to it. It looks good from certain angles. It's fine.
It's all about the angles.
Yeah, it's all about it's just the visual. Oh man.
People have to go. I remember when you made amazing mocks. Like, when?
No, didn't
you're watching the wrong guy.
Didn't you do one for like the workshop or the garage or something like that? Didn't you
but they're not good though.
Okay, got it. Okay, that's okay.
They may look good from one angle.
And that's about it. That's it.
Keep it from that one angle then.
I mean, that's where maybe doing it with a nice camera and a bit of color shading might look a little bit better, but in real life,
yeah. No, it's just crap. Exactly.
I think the design term is putting lipstick on a pig.
Yep, exactly. I love that one.
Yeah,
that's my favorite. I think a lot of like my mock that I'm doing now, which I need to go. I've got mockumentary in 23 minutes. But
great.
But I'm doing lipstick
on today, guys. She's booked.
Yeah, guys. I have a busy schedule in unemployment. It's very busy. Okay.
Isn't it strange how that works?
Isn't it ridiculous? Yes. I'm like, where is my day going? But anyway, Chris, thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate it and making the time work. I'm sorry about Lan, but
that's all good.
I hope it doesn't take you away from making videos and content and like, you know, because we love it and love having you here in the community.
Oh, yeah. You stuck with me, at least for the time being.
Good.
Nice.
So, okay. Anybody's got anything else? Any questions?
Thanks, man, for being our first guest on a new channel.
Yeah.
No worries. Am I the first English guest? I don't know if
that's what
that too.
Yes, you are.
First international.
This is also the first time we're filming in the morning.
Yeah, this is new for us.
You're gonna have to get used to that if you get European people.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Like,
just letting you know.
We're coming, Greg.
It's okay. Shy's gonna have to quit his job.
I know. I'm probably. Oh well, we'll figure that out later.
Oh well,
that's a future Shy problem.
Future Shy problem.
On that note, shall we cue the music?
Cue that music.
Thanks, Chris.
No worries at all.
Thanks, dude.
Let me go get Sans to come say hi.